There are several anecdotes and stories which teach us one fundamental lessons. But the beauty about mythology and legend is that there are some stories which teach us multiple things through one story. I'm reminded of such a story. It's an old Buddhist one. It talks about a king who had 3 sons, and they were triplets. All 3 of them were of the same age, of the same capability, of the same strength, the same wisdom, the same intelligence. The king was in a big problem. Who to choose as his rightful heir? He didn't know, he was not sure whom to pick to become the king after him. He thought about it. It was a major problem for him. He called his minister and he said, "Why don't you sort this problem out for me? You're the wise man here. How do we choose who is right for this job of responsibility, for this leadership position, for this management position, for this position which requires him to be an all-round achiever and an all-round productive inspiration to all?" The minister thought about it, and the next day he came up with a solution. He said, "My lord, I think I have the solution. Let us do one thing. You have 3 palaces which are empty. Why don't you call your sons here and I will give them the test?" So the king called his sons there, and the minister told the sons, "Each one of you will have 1 palace, empty palace, for 5 days. And at the end of 5 days, the king and I will come to inspect the palace. We are giving you a small sum of money. Take it and fill your palace with whatever you can. Fill it with the maximum that you can. Whichever palace is filled to the maximum, the owner of that palace will become the king." So they were giving the money. The sons went about, each one was wondering, with this small amount of money, what to buy. And remember, they were princes. They were not sure how to handle a small sum of money. How do you fill this palace? The first one had a very smart idea. He said, "Let me do one thing. Let me buy all the garbage in the town." He contacted the waste disposal department, what we call a municipality, and he said, "Okay, tomorrow all the garbage of the town should come to my house and I will pay the labor fee." And he paid the labor fee, and the whole palace was filled with rotting, ridiculous garbage. The second son thought about it, but he simply didn't know what to do. So his palace remained empty. And the third son thought about it and did something which was very interesting, which I'm coming to. The king went to the first palace. It was so stinking, so full of garbage, that he absolutely moved out in disgust. So the first son had taken whatever he could find, whatever rubbish he could collect, and he put it there. It didn't work for him. The second son was simply too indecisive. His indecisiveness took away the chance to win. And the third son, when the king entered, the king got a fragrance. And the king saw some small Diaz, some earthen lamps glowing with light. So the palace was full of light of these cheap Diaz. And the palace was full of fragrance of a few incense sticks, agarbattis, droop, what we call. And the king was enchanted. He felt it's magical. And the minister too said, "This is the boy who should be king. He has created something so beautiful with something so little." To me, the lesson I draw would be that one is never helpless. One must have that confidence of doing whatever it is within one's power, not taking the easy route out to just bring any rubbish, things which are not of quality, as the first one did. Not being indecisive, but being bold enough, confident enough to make a decision, however small, but of quality. Therefore, to have confidence with what one is, to feel comfortable with who one is, with the resources one has, never underestimate them.